everybody. I was back. Okay, so where's the music? Get your music. Now they got it, baby. Now they got it. Now, if you're looking for trouble, you come to the right place. You're looking for trouble? Just look right in my face if you dare. I was born standing up and talking back. And my daddy was a green-eyed mountain jack. 'Cause you know I'm evil. That's a good word. Everybody knows I am. 'Cause man, I'm evil. History will tell you that. I just don't mess around with me. Well, you know, I never looked for trouble. But I never ran. I don't take no orders from no kind of man. What's your mouth, son? I was born standing up and talking back to my daddy. And everybody knows that he was a green-eyed mountain jack. And since then I've been evil. Oh yeah, everybody knows I am. And don't mess around with me, man. Oh, my middle name's Misery. So don't you mess around with me. So what do we say about that? We say that I just come up here today. I traveled a long way to be in this shitty little studio of yours. So if you don't treat me with respect, I'm gonna kick your ass, you know? People want to be in Vegas singing like this, you know? And many years ago, I was gonna do it. But I whacked too many guys, so they said, hey Al, you know, we can't do it. So if you don't watch your mouth around here, especially you guys on the cameras, I'm gonna whack you too, because I'm somebody. Who the hell are you? Salute.
What a wonderful performance, ladies and gentlemen. That is Al Capone. Hi, I'm Graham Woolston-Home and welcome to Time Travel TV. What we're going to do to get you in the mood for it, we're going to show you a little bit of VT about the main man himself. So roll that VT.
Life goes on. A man become preeminent, he is expected to have enthusiasms. Enthusiasms. What am I? What draws my admiration? What is that which gives me joy? Music. Baseball. A man stands alone at a plate. This is the time for what? For individual achievement. There he stands alone. But in the field, what? Part of a team.
Teamwork.
Looks, throws, catches, hustles, part of one big team. Bats himself the livelong day. Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, and so on. This team don't field. What is he? You follow me? No one. Sunny day, stands it full of fans. What does he have to say? I'm going out there for myself. But I get nowhere unless the team wins.
Team. Yeah. Team. The team.
Politan immigrants, Gabriel and Cesar Capone, originally named Alfonso Capone. His name was Americanized to Al Capone. In 1904, at the age of 5, young Alphonse started his school career at public school, 7 in Brooklyn. School was tough for Capone. The teachers were not tolerant of immigrant children and often used physical force as a means of discipline. Capone always had a problem with authority, and by the time he entered 6th grade, his grades began to drop drastically. At 14, Capone started a fist fight with a teacher, was expelled, and never returned to school again. Shortly after he was expelled, his father moved the family to 21 Garfield Place, in the neighborhood that would influence the direction of Capone's life and ultimately his future. Capone joined 2 local street gangs, the Brooklyn Rippers and the 40 Thieves Juniors. Among the members were Johnny Torrio and Lucky Luciano. As a young man, Capone held many odd jobs, from a candy store clerk to a bowling alley pin boy. Capone entered an organised crime when he went to work for a gangster, Frankie Hale, at his club, the Harvard Inn. It was here that Capone received his nickname, Scarface. After being attacked by a man for insulting his sister, it was here that Capone was arrested for the first time. While attending a dance in 1918, Capone met Mary May Coughlin on December the 4th, 1918. She gave birth to their son, Albert Sonny Francis. Shortly after, they were married, and Capone moved his family to Chicago. Once in Chicago, Capone went to work for Johnny Torrio, an influenced lieutenant in the Colosimo mob. Soon after the leader, Big Jim Colosimo, was murdered, and Johnny Torrio took over with Capone at his side. By 1922, Capone had become a full partner with Torrio in his gambling houses, saloons, and brothels. In 1925, after being seriously wounded, Torrio retired and Capone became boss. By then, rival gang members considered Capone ruthless and posed little threat to his plans for taking over Chicago. Racketeering rights. Any rival gang posed threat to his plans was either destroyed or diminished greatly in size, leaving full region to Capone.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Right, hello again. We have a wonderfully superb guest here. Pleased to meet you, Mr. Al Capone.
You want to shake my hand?
I'd
man?
like to shake your hand, sir.
Ah, you're lucky.
I've heard lots
you're
about
lucky
you.
schmuck.
I mean, you were a man that was loved and hated in Chicago.
Yeah.
Brilliant
true.
clip, brilliant stuff on the VT. It must have took you back there watching that various bits and pieces.
Yeah, I remember that day when I beat that guy's skull in. That was a particularly fun day for me. I remember that, yeah. They did it pretty good, I have to say. I take my hat off to De Niro there. Hey! Cheers.
I've actually got to say, how do you feel these different actors, current day actors, are actually portraying you? I mean, for instance, Mr. De Niro there, The Untouchables, how do you feel that went? Looking at that, you must have seen
He
it.
did a good job. He put a lot of weight on. I was a lot thinner, of course, in reality, as you can see from my excellent profile on all the pictures there. Yeah, he did a good job. I particularly liked he portrayed that real evil, cynical, nasty side that I enjoy so much, you know. Although I'm a nice guy too. I loved my family. I'm very much a family guy. I always did take care of my peoples. You know?
Talking about your family, you were immigrants from Italy and you came over here in the early 20th century. Thanks very much for that.
You're welcome.
Save
that.
20th century. So can you tell me how you were treated as immigrants when you first went to school as such in the early 20th century?
They treat you like shit. You come over here to the land of milk and honey, the promised land, and they say, hey, the streets are paved with gold. Bullshit. You come over here, all you get is a free ride and a few bits of soup on the boat coming over. It's hell. You bring your ma, your pa, your kids, and you're on the streets. As soon as you get here, you're on the streets. You have to find something for food. Where'd you get food from? So there's only 2 choices. You become like a schmuck and try and get some shitty work, you know, and you scrape and scrape and scrape like my ma tried to do. Or you go out and maybe whack a couple of guys and get a bit of respect on the streets. Now, I know that ain't fashionable, but it's a reality.
I mean, your family settled in Chicago. We saw the story there of you, smacking your sort of school teacher at the age of 14. Is that where it actually all began for you?
I remember that guy, yeah. He thought he could push me around like my dad did, you know. But I kind of learned a few techniques by the time I got to see that guy. And he discovered that I could practice my techniques on him. And now he's I can tell you this now because, you know, I've done my time. He's sleeping at the bottom of Brooklyn Bay. He's sleeping with the fishes.
How did that come about?
I killed him.
Just like that, yeah?
Yeah, it was fun, yeah.
I mean, before that, 14, you have allegedly started crime a bit earlier than that when you were 12.
Yeah.
I mean, the incident with the teacher came a couple of years after.
Yeah,
What were the sort of things you
that's
were
correct.
getting involved with at the age of 12, for instance?
I was in, I forget the name, my name's going, but I think it was the Poynton Rangers or something. There was a street gang, you know, under Brooklyn, like Wreckers or something. They wanted me to be in that gang, but as always happened, within 2 days, I was the leader of the gang. Because what you do, you go up, you knuckle the main man, you knock him down
him
in
out.
front of
Yeah, yeah.
everybody. You listening? You knock him down in front of everyone, and everybody gets on their knees, and then they start saying, "Hey, Al, you're the wise guy here. You're the big guy." And that's the way it's going to be.
So how many gangs were you involved with before you actually became the actual notorious Chicago boss that everyone sort of
Well, I
feared?
was running speakeasies and illegal liquor and booze from 16 years on. And I took over the streets of Chicago. I ruled New York. Don't let anybody tell you different. I ruled New York, I ruled Frisco, and I had those politicians in Washington in the palm of my hand. They should have renamed this country USAC, United States of Al Capone.
Al, I'll tell you what.
What?
Fascinating stuff. We're going to come back to you very, very shortly. Very interesting.
You cutting me
guest.
off?
Not cutting
You
you off.
cutting me off?
No, we're going to have another performance
come
from
all
you.
this way.
Thanks a lot. We're pleased to have learnt so much from you. You're going to learn a little bit more
gotta
from
let
you.
some respect,
But
young
now
fella.
we need to go and look at the ED news with Salvi. So let's go straight back to the news, and we'll join you back with Al Capone straight after the news.
Thanks, Graham. Hi, I'm Salvi. I'm here reporting for Ed News, and here are today's stories. New York Stock Exchange is in a panic as frantic investors have scrambled to unload their stocks at any price. The turmoil that started 4 days ago is now grinding to a tragic finale, with everyone wanting to sell but no one wanting to buy. Stock prices are going down at a fantastic rate. Suddenly, even the most gilt-edged securities are practically valueless. Also, Al Capone has been convicted of income tax evasion. The notorious gangster is going to be put aboard a train to Atlanta, where he'll begin his 11-year stint in a federal penitentiary. Dr. Albert Einstein is scheduled to arrive in the USA today. The renowned German scientist is heading for the California Institute of Technologies, where he plans to collaborate with many great physicists on the equation of the universe. Now we're going to go to Jake Burns for a live outside broadcast at the Chicago courtroom.
Hi, this is Jake Burns reporting for ED News. The notorious Al Capone has been sentenced to 11 years on Alcatraz Island for tax evasion. However, it is a shame that he has not been convicted for his extremely horrifying crimes, such as the famous Valentine Massacre and carrying deadly weapons, and for the people he has killed and ruined. But at least the streets of Chicago are now safe once again, and we are all happy to finally say goodbye to Al Capone. This is Jake Burns reporting for ED News. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Jake. In other news, Giuseppe Sarangana shot 5 bullets at President-elect Franklin D. Roosevelt at the Bayfront Park in Miami, Florida. Although the bullets missed FDR, one did mortally wound Mayor Anton Kamak. Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow, most commonly known as Just Bonnie and Clyde, were a young couple who went on a 2-year crime spree, and it ended abruptly today when police succeeded in ambushing them. Bonnie and Clyde died in their car from multiple bullet shots from the police. Finally, Clyde W. Tombaugh, an assistant at the Lowell Observatory in Flagstaff, Arizona, discovered a new planet named Pluto. It is known to be the coldest planet in our solar system. Thanks for listening to Ed News. I've been Salvi. Back to the studio.
Thanks very much, Salvi, for the news there. Now it's back to our most famous and dignified guest, Mr. Al Capone. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about your past, and there, of course, we noticed in the clip before, one of your, the people that actually was brought you down, if you like, Elliot Ness. I mean, he might be on the show in a few
Don't
weeks.
talk to me about
Well, he could be on the
Elliot
show in a
Ness.
couple of weeks.
That was a punk, right?
Yeah.
They got me on tax evasion. Tax evasion. All the guys that I whacked, yeah? I whacked over 57 guys personally, okay? And they can't touch me with nothing. And this punk, he's a nothing. He's a nothing, much like you. It's nothing.
Hey, well, hang on a
No,
minute.
son. You
No,
got to
no.
earn respect. What you done in your life? I ruled the cities of New York everywhere. I ruled the world. And this punk comes along, Ness, pathetic little punk in his little shitty cabin living with his family, and I should have just crushed him in the beginning, you know? He's a punk.
Okay.
He had to get me on tax evasion.
I
He
mean,
got me on
Elliot
nothing.
Ness, I mean,
Nothing.
You've actually come from hell, apparently, so...
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that's like down there? I mean,
Nice
the
change
famous
of subject.
people you've
nice
seen.
change of subject.
Yeah,
It's
that's
very
what I'm saying.
wise. Getting a little upset here. Hell is one hell of a place. It's a joke, yeah?
Yeah.
It's a laugh.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
joke,
So, it's, you know, there's a guy down there, he called Big Lou, Lucifer, you may have heard of him. I think he's going to be on the show soon. Don't tell him I said this, but me and the boys down there getting a little bit sick of his attitude. We're changing things a bit. We're thinking of rumbling it up a little bit. He's had his own way for too long. And I think it's time for what we call a coup d'etat. You know what that is?
No. Please
You're
do
not an
tell.
educated guy then.
Oh, I'm very educated. That's why I'm speaking to you.
Really?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. We'll leave the jury's out on that one. Yeah, we're going to take over. A few baseball bats, the way we used to do it in the old days. You know, we go over, knock him down in front of everybody, like I said earlier. Everybody gets on their knees. And, hey, Al, you're our new leader. And so I reckon I'll get that rock and rolling, and then we'll come back into this world of yours for a while, and we'll raise a little hell up here.
So what do you think of our world at the moment? I mean, there must be people after you now. They're knowing that the famous Al Capone's back, in town.
Yeah.
People after you again.
Well,
how are you going to sort of...
We're working on a few projects, particularly the Middle East. You notice that everybody's saying, hey, everybody's free in the Middle East. Don't believe it. That's one of my plans.
You're going to run the Middle East?
No, well, what you do is you give all those guys, they're our old guards, old disciplines, Gaddafi and Egypt, and those guys have been doing pretty good for us, but we decided we needed a little new blood. So what you do is you make everybody think that everything's going cool. And, hey, those guys are all dead, kill them on the streets, It's all part of a plan, man. And then you just watch what happens next.
Well, with all due respect, Mr. Capone, I don't think
Fundamentalists.
you'll get very far with your plans this time round, unfortunately.
No,
Things have
not
moved
at
on
all. Have you
since
not?
your
No,
last
man,
days.
you don't know
Yeah,
how
yeah.
things work, because what happens is discontent sets in, chaos, disorder, all the forces of evil that I personally command come back in, and we raise hell. We'll have fundamentalist Christians, fundamentalist Islam, we'll have everybody. Look at in Egypt now, they're already kicking the shit out of each other.
So how would you propose to change things in Egypt? Do you want to be a world leader? Do you want to take over, say, for instance, like Hitler did back in the 1930s,
Yeah, well,
1940s?
that guy was just a little bit stupid, really. That mustache, I couldn't stick that mustache, don't know about you, but that's no way. If you're going to come back as a world leader, you come back looking pretty cool, like me. And I wouldn't mind being in the big chair for a while. Yeah, in fact, you watch out. You watch this space. I'll get the televisions first. This is my first step on your little shitty show.
Right, well, I'm very
I
sorry,
get
Mr.
the thing.
Capone. We've got to call it a quits there for the moment. Thanks very much. You're going to leave us today with a wonderful song that's
Hello.
straight from hell, if you like. So,
Okay.
again, incredible pleasure to meet you there, Mr. Capone.
So is that all the chat?
Yeah, it's a great chat. I hope you've all the best for the future. I've been Graham Woolstenholme, and thanks very much for watching. If you can take your space on the stage, give us another great rendition
well,
of a great song by
you're
Mick
not-
Jagger and the Rolling Stones. So
Yeah.
once again, this has been Time Tunnel. Join us again next time when we have various other guests. Check TV listings for the different people we've got on over the next few weeks. But in the meantime, I'll leave you in the more than capable hands of one Mr. Al Capone doing a cover of a wonderful Rolling Stones track. You might remember this, Sympathy for the Devil.
Well, I'm just going to use these words because there are quite a lot of them, and my good friend Mick Jagger sent them to me. He's one of our guys. He's a wise guy. You watch out for him. He's been doing a good job for me. Okay, so anytime. Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for long years. I stole many a man's soul and faith. We could do with a little bit more sound on the music. I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt. That was me. And he doubted his faith. And I made sure that guy Pilate, he washed his hands and he sealed JC's faith. So pleased to meet you. I hope you guess my name. And I can see what's puzzling you. It's the nature of my game. It's pretty easy to know how it's going to be in charge soon. I stuck around in St. Petersburg when I saw it was time for change. I killed the tsars and I killed the ministers, and Anastasia, she did scream in vain. I rode a tank, I held a general's rank, when the blitzkrieg raged and the bodies stank. Pleased to meet you, I hope you guessed my name. But you know what's puzzling you? I know, is the nature of my game. That's what you want to know, eh? I watch with glee as your kings and queens fought for 10 decades and the gods they made. I shouted out, hey, who killed the Kennedys? And after all, you know, well, it wasn't you, it was me. So let me please introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. And I laid traps a long time ago for troubadours, and they got killed before they even reached Bombay. Pleased to meet you. I hope you guessed my name. But what's puzzling you is still the nature of my game. Yes, I'm pleased to meet you. And what's confusing you is the nature of my game. And just watch out, because I'm going to be back. I'm going to be watching you and you and you and you. And I'm going to be right behind you, waiting for the chance just to get my way. And if you don't do what I say, you're going to get stuck. Simple as that. So, enjoy yourself on your little show. Remember, Big Al's going to be in charge soon, and you're going to be working for me soon. So, enjoy yourself. It's been good being here. You've been very privileged having me here. Okay, so, I'm pleased to meet you. Do you guess my name? What's my name? What's my name? What's my name? Lorna! Lorna! Thank you. Now you can clap.